Alright, so we talked about patience and consistency, super important. If you cannot do that, you will fail, trust me. So that's super important. If you manage to do that and you stick to it, you improve consistently, you will win. It's that easy in the end. But I oftentimes get that question, okay Chris, so I have to go through that learning phase, right? Where at the beginning everything is a bit slower before it ramps up and we start to make some proper profits, right? And I often get the question, okay, how do I handle this specific phase, this 2 to 4 weeks phase where I just have to gather data and learn? And it's really simple actually. During that period, you do almost nothing, okay? You make sure your backend is running smoothly. You do not do anything with the ads. Why? You just launch the ads. They need some time to adjust anyway. You need to gather some clicks. The metrics will be all over the place at first. The CPC is still a bit crazy. You get some first add to carts, begin checkouts. Eventually you will get your first purchases and then you want to stick to that. You don't want to be like, I got my first purchase now. Let's do this, let's do that, let's change that. Let's split up the campaign to 1,000 different other campaigns. No, no. Like during that period, not much will happen. You start with a budget of 50 euros. That's not a lot of volume. There's not much that will happen here. So you just stick to that, you gather some first clicks, and after that period you will have a couple of conversions ideally, but it will not be much yet. And that's when people often ask me, so Chris, we are live for 4 weeks, what can we do next? But yeah, 4 weeks, the time period doesn't really matter, the time frame, you know, because just imagine, okay, let's say store A is live for 4 weeks and store B is live for 4 weeks, right? You have a budget of 50 euros. Store B has a budget of 5,000 euros a day. And let's say they spend it on Google Ads. And let's say they run on Facebook ads for a while as well. Your 4 weeks, they will look drastically different. You will get a couple of conversions, let's say 20 purchases, really nice. They will already make thousands of dollars each and every single day here. Store B, right? They are printing already. They're already active on Facebook, so their whole learning phase will be quicker, they have a big budget. So it's not really how long have you been live, how long have you been running ads. It's also the amount of data that you gather in the period, right? And again, it will take some time. And there's also, doesn't really make sense for you to start with a bigger budget, for example, because you wanna keep it low, you know, like give it some time, see how the metrics are looking. Do you get some first purchases back? If that is looking really nicely, then you can scale up a little bit, and that makes sense. So really during that time, it's all about gathering data. That's the keyword here. Just let it run, gather some data. How is the CPC looking? Do you get some purchases already? Is it looking good? Are you break even potentially even? Do you make some profits? That's the thing. And then when you're out of this phase, you start to increase your budget a little bit. So you start to move up a little bit, right? And then it gets more interesting, of course. So what do you do next? What do you do in that period? So first we had to gather some data. That's fine. We were patient. We stayed consistent. Now it's time to start to think about improvements, right? Still, a lot of people, you're still super early in that phase, right? You don't have crazy volume. You don't have crazy budgets. You don't make crazy revenue. So don't overthink it with the improvements. Stick to the simple things. People often think with the improvements, they think about, oh, we will do a crazy A/B test. But it doesn't make any sense to do an A/B test when you have a budget of 100 euros a day. It will take you ages to actually get proper data. Oftentimes also A/B tests are pretty pointless because people test things they should know anyway. What you will do in that phase, again, daily improvements, small improvements, but we focus on the simple things where we know that brings you big ROI. And that is usually step number 1, adding new winning products. So stay consistent with adding products. We usually recommend 5 to 10 a day, especially in that period, you know. At first you don't want to change much even here, because you just want to gather some data, make sure GMC stays live and everything. And then we add new products here, right? Always quality over quantity. At 5 to 10 really good products a day. And then you can also think about, okay, how can I optimize the store a little bit? I'll show you later now, like Vinny already showed you in his part, like how to build a proper store. I will show you some conversion design principles later on, purely from the marketing perspective. Then you can optimize your product page especially, right? Because that's where people will land. Your whole store generally. Checkout process, little things. The backend, for example. You can check your metrics. Is the AOV good? And we will talk about it later as well. What's the conversion rate? Is it high? Is it low? Why is it high? Why is it low? Then you start to think about those aspects. Just focus on making sure the numbers are going up until you hit a certain level where you make some good profits already, or until you start plateauing again a little bit. But that should be a period of growth. That's where you gain some proper traction. That's where it's easy to scale. And you focus on those things. Oh, that was a bit of a messy circle. Adding winning products, tweaking the store a little bit, making sure the backend is properly set up. Little things, nothing crazy. We don't split up campaigns. We don't do any A/B tests. Stick to the high ROI activities, and then you will be able to scale like that.